Hello, Josie Wales here, and welcome to this not combat mission after action report. This is in fact Field of Glory Empires. I've had a bit of a break from making YouTube videos over the last 3 years. I think my last video that I uploaded was at the start of 2020. Just been very busy with work and personal things. I've not been able to devote the time to making videos that I had been able to beforehand. Combat Mission is obviously a really great game. Very passionate about the games that I played and the videos that I made. Obviously, the channel has been built up on that reputation. It's just been, too busy to really sort of do anything over the last few years, really. I did find that Combat Mission and making AARs was really taking up quite a large part of my free time, if you like. And as part of that, there were other games out there that I wanted to play. I spent 6 years sort of devoted to the Combat Mission series and making those AARs for my viewers to enjoy. And it started off as a labour of love, really. But as time went on, I just felt as if I was kind of feeding the machine and feeding the demand, and some of the joy of it for me went out of it. So I've taken a break, and I've decided to come back at this point now, where it might be a point where things are a bit more settled and I can start adding to the channel again. But it won't be Combat Mission for the foreseeable future. We'll perhaps look at some other games. So one game that I got really quite into once I stopped playing Combat Mission was Field of Glory 2. It was a bit of a long burner for me. It took me a while to get into Field of Glory 2. I think when I first played it, I didn't really like it very much. But as time's gone on, it's become one of my sort of staple games that I play. And I do play multiplayer quite a bit with some of the guys over at the Few Good Men. I did enter a Slytherin tournament. I think at the lowest level I came in, well, the lowest tier that I could enter at. And I kind of did reasonably well in that tier, but I'm in no means an excellent player. You will notice, of course, this is not Field of Glory 2. This is Field of Glory Empires, although it does look a little bit different to perhaps what you normally see when if you've got the game. So what I'm looking at doing is perhaps a series on with some Field of Glory 2 battles in, but based around an overarching campaign that's played in Field of Glory Empires. And this is a mod for that game called The West Is No More, set in 476 CE. And this is a mod created by Kronenblatt, who many of you might know from the Slytherin forums. He's also active over on the Few Good Men. So we are going to pick a nation to play as, and I've already got an idea of what I'm going to pick, and I've had a sort of a trial playthrough to see how it all fits together with the video editing and such like. But what I really want to highlight is the Field of Glory 2 battles. That's where we're going to be looking at most of the detail. So I have decided that what I want to do is play as one of the fledgling Anglo-Saxon kingdoms in England, and we're going to pick SuthSeaxne. Sussex, basically, which is the reason I want to pick this is because they are the ones probably that most represent the sort of area that I live in. I kind of live around about here-ish, in a town called Reading in what is now Berkshire, but at the time I believe it was a border town between well, a bit later on than this, it was a border town between Wessex and Mercia. So that's why I want to pick the South Saxons. But before we do that, we can just have a quick look at the map. So it's set just after the fall of the Western Roman Empire, hence the name. The West is no more. And we can see these sort of Germanic kingdoms rising up out of the ashes of the weakened Roman Empire. We've got the Visigoths down here in Iberia. The Eastern Roman Empire is still intact, and obviously historically that went on for a much longer period. And it's obviously a very well put together mod, very well researched. A lot of time, effort, and energy by Kronenblatt has gone into this mod, and you know, props to him. You know, hats off. What a great job. But I'm just going to sort of focus on this little corner of the world. I'm not going to try and do a massive campaign and, you know, retake the Roman Empire. All I'm going to do is see if I can form the kingdom, well, what would become the Kingdom of England. So I'm just going to spread out from south. So I just call it Sussex, well, Regnium, and to start looking at which of my neighbours are weakest, and start forming the region around the south of England. I think England is split into England and Wales is split into two regions this game. I think it's Britannia Inferior and Britannia Superior. But we're not looking at conquering the whole of the British Isles. I just want to do a relatively short playthrough and form the Kingdom of England, and report on basically highlights at the campaign level, and show you the most interesting battles that are fought along the way in Field of Glory 2. I'm not going to fight every battle in Field of Glory 2. If I was to do that, then you know, I may well be retired before we actually get to the end of this campaign. I've done a run through of the campaign before on a slightly higher difficulty level, and it didn't go well. I got completely taken over by Canterware, modern day Kent. So hopefully this is now on balanced difficulty. I'll be able to do a little bit better. I've got around about 300 hours in Field of Glory 2, but only about 100 hours in this game. So I'm not an expert in either, but I'm worse at this game than I am in Field of Glory 2, I believe. So I've selected SuthSeaxne, and so let's get into it and see what's going on. We don't have any alliances, we're not at war with anyone, and everybody is neutral with us. I'm not tending to have too much to do with the mainland of Europe. I just want to focus on you know, building the kingdom up here and trying to form England. So just having a look at the territory of Regnium. It's not of our ethnicity, it's currently Celtic. Because we've just invaded. We are obviously a Germanic nation that's taken over here. Same with Canterware and East Sax. We're all Saxon kingdoms. These are the inhabitants left behind after the fall of the Roman Empire. So I think these use a Brythonic unit set, although these ones look like they might be Germanic. So yeah, well, we'll find out when we fight them and see what units they are on the battle map. Here we are in Regnium. I'm not going to go through every single decision I make on the strategy level here. I'm just going to show you the highlights. You know, when we hopefully take other territories, sorry, regions. And give you sort of updates on it, rather than every report on every single decision that I make. But I think basically what I'm going to try and do here is build up Regnium. We've got a couple of building slots. We might have a couple of buildings here that we can maybe get rid of, you know, because it's costing us a lot of money to bring in papyrus for, you know, a little bit of culture, a little bit of decadence reduction. So I might just get rid of that so that we can get the money. The main aim is to not run out of money, not run out of manpower, and not run out of metal. Try and see if we can form some alliances with some of the other kingdoms so that we're not completely vulnerable. And once we've got a big enough force here, you know, start beating up on our neighbours. So I'll get back to this aspect of the game when we're about to do something more interesting. Here we are back at turn 10. I've been developing regnium, trying to get the food production up so that we can grow our population and thereby get more building slots. At the moment we can only get a maximum of 6. The ethnicity is starting to change now, becoming more Germanic, although we still do have this low loyalty and a 2% revolt risk. So what I've done is declared war on TWiNM. No idea if I'm pronouncing that right at all. They are a client state of kernel, which I want anyway, so I'm going to attack here. Hopefully the Cornish army won't come in as well. They'll have a combat. If they don't, then I'll just be facing this unit with a combat power of 22 and the garrison of 931 against my 56. So been just expanding this army with some heavy infantry, some cavalry, although I think this converts to light cav in Field of Glory 2, and some skirmishers. So we'll attack here and see if we get a fight that we can potentially win. So the battle is on. We have got 11 units against their 15. We're going to fight this out in Field of Glory 2 because it's our first invasion. It does look like Cornwall are sending some units over, but I think because of the terrain, yeah, they're getting maybe coming in a little bit later. So we'll deal with this fight first, and I expect that this unit will come in and we'll fight those as well separately, rather than. It worked out quite well because we're not fighting a combined army here. So we'll export the battle, and we will continue in Field of Glory 2. Okay, here we are in Field of Glory 2, and this is my army that I've brought to the field, and here over there is the enemy army. So my army consists of these warband, undrilled heavy foot. That's my main force, but supporting them I've got skirmishers consisting of light foot, light archers, sorry, light javelins, light archers, and javelin horse. The forces opposite consist mainly of this regular infantry Brythonic foot. They are medium foot, which means that toe to toe they don't really stand a chance against my heavy foot. However, they generally perform better in rougher terrain, and there's more of them. They also have a couple of units of these they're Persian archer models. It's just the way that Field of Glory 2 converts this particular unit pack. There is a 33% chance that when cavalry is deployed, that they will be these Persian archers rather than well, there's a 67% chance that they'll be the noble cavalry that we'd probably more likely to expect on this type of battlefield in Britannia. So because we've got this rough ground in front of us here, I think what we'll probably do is pull back a bit and settle ourselves between these two woodlands, which will protect our flanks somewhat, because if medium foot will still get moderately disordered in woodland, which will give them a malice when attacking us whilst we're in non-disordering terrain. So I think that's what we'll do first. Again, I'm not going to show every turn and every move that I make. I'm just going to report back after every few turns with the highlights of what's happened, and we'll take it from there. So let's get back to this once something interesting starts to happen. Turn 5, and we've moved the main line of infantry back to be protected on the flanks by these two wooded areas. I had thought that the enemy foot would move forward just because they have greater numbers, but it's probably because they feel they're a weaker force that they've not automatically moved forward. So my skirmishers are now throwing pointy things at them, and we've disrupted a couple of units, and these cavalry archers, and we've got this unit kind of surrounded as well. So this may be enough to provoke a reaction to bring this line forward. If they don't move, we're just going to carry on throwing things at them, try and get some fragmentations, and yeah, see what happens. If they don't react, I'm also going to then leave this position and move this mass of infantry forward. So we'll see what happens over the next few turns. Turn 8, and all the action at the moment is happening with our light units. So they've done exceptionally well. We have routed one of the nomad cavalry units. We've disrupted this unit of medium foot. We've routed a unit here, another unit here, and we've disrupted this unit. So we're starting to make some holes in the line, thinning them out a bit, and that's made me think that we can safely move forward, provided we get over this bit of rough terrain here, which we should easily do. We can move forward and engage them on open ground, and we've thinned them out to the point now where I'm not so worried about getting flanked and overwhelmed on the side. So I think what we'll just do now is steamroller them. They've just held here, I think, because they realise they are in a weaker position, and should they just charge forward, they're just going to disrupt their formation even more. I can't just stay here and just keep shooting at them, because you know, we're down to 1 turn of ammunition on most of these units now. So a couple of them have got 2 turns left, but we're going to be getting less and less effective as time goes on. So time to start bringing the heavies forward, and we will come back to this when we've made some contact with the front of their line. Turn 10. So what has happened is the enemy formation has decided to move forward, just as we chose to move out of our defensive position. We're desperately trying to get across this little bit of rough ground here before the enemy troops can get to this position. So they're going to get there in 2 turns. We should just be able to make it. But I think that this rough ground also slows down heavy foot as well. So yeah, this could be a little bit of a risk, actually. I've also been informed that an enemy flanking force has arrived, but we can't see them anywhere. So they may be up over this way, behind this wooded area, or they may be up in these trees. So this is probably the army from Cornwall, I would think. Unless it is the garrison force catching up. I'm not quite too sure how that works in the game, but hopefully it's not the force from Cornwall, because we're going to be pretty stuffed if it is a massive force coming in to reinforce this army here. I'm just getting my lights out of the way, trying not to get caught up in a melee conflict with this medium foot and lose these units, trying to get them off to the flank so they can still provide some bit of support before these units and these units meet each other. So hopefully I can extract them all without them getting caught, but we shall see in the next few turns. turn 12 and the main fight is on. So yeah, we have just managed to get over this bit of rough ground here into this open terrain, and as some of their warband, sorry, their regular foot, their medium foot has come in and made contact with our warband, they've kind of disrupted and bounced off, which is quite encouraging. We have these light units around here which have been disrupting and fragmenting this unit of foot, and then we just charged in with the warband and they quickly broke and ran off. We've actually routed 2 of them here. This unit here is disrupted, so we should hopefully chew through this lot without too much trouble. The main problem with the warband is that they pursue. So if for example here we route this unit, these 2 units could go running off, and one of them might end up over here. And the problem with that is that they're then surrounded and they can get flank charged and disrupted and fragmented and destroyed. So that is the main problem with them. They're just a bit undisciplined to be able to kind of just hold a line. The flanking force that's come in at the moment just appears to be some light units that have turned up over on this flank. So what I've decided to do is rush my light units over to try and contain them, so they're not harassing my main infantry body. They've obviously got lots of ammo left. We've used most of ours up already, so I think what we're going to do with these light jabs and these cavalry, we're just going to charge into melee, see if we can run them off the map. But I don't know what's behind them. There could be some more substantial forces coming through these woods just behind them. So we'll have to see how that develops over the next few turns. We're potentially going to get, we are going to get flanked on this side, which is why I've brought this unit over, try and get him off the rough ground next turn to provide a little bit of protection from flank charges. Okay, so so far so good. We are at 27-0. So let's see if we can expand that gap ever more, try and get a victory. Turn 13. So in the centre here we are making short work of these medium foot. Many of them are fragmented. A couple of more units have routed. This unit did what I expected in that it pursued through and it's left itself quite exposed. So they could flank charge here, and this would disrupt. It has got a general in it, so it probably won't fragment, and they'll probably end up fragmenting this medium foot unit next turn. But yeah, I think we've almost got the victory here. We're at 34%. We haven't taken we haven't had any units rout. We've just gone charging in on this flank into these archers with our skirmishers and our javelin skirmishers and our javelin horse. So we're basically preventing them from doing any damage to our heavy foot. So I think this battle's almost over. Maybe next turn. I think that'll be it. Let's see how it goes. So it's the very next turn and we have scored a victory. We've routed over 50% of their forces. So we had all those fragmented units there that are basically now broken and are running off. This unit did get flank charged as I predicted, but it only dropped to disrupted. It was then able to rout this fragmented unit, and now it's just one-on-one with this medium foot. Plenty of reserve here to pile through if the battle was to continue. So relatively straightforward. Well, it wasn't all that straightforward really. I suppose it was inevitable that we were going to win just because the medium foot cannot stand up against the heavy foot in any sense. but we were able to thin out the herd before we'd even got off the mark, really, with our light units. It was just unfortunate timing then that when we decided to leave our defensive position, the enemy AI decided to move forward as well, and I was a little bit concerned we'd get caught on this rough ground here, and then their medium foot would have an advantage. But we managed to just sort of dart across it in time to make sure we were on open ground before the enemy foot came in with their initial charges, and you know, they just bounced off us basically. We've hardly got any disruptions. We haven't got any fragmentations. You know, we've just held our ground and chewed through them. Was managed to sort of plug this flanking force that came through. We weren't going to win a firefight against them. They had full ammo. They're all archers. They've got the range. They've got the ammunition. So we just wanted to pile in and close the distance as quickly as possible. And in doing so, we have managed to limit their effectiveness. Okay, so that's a victory. Let's see how that converts on the campaign map. So this is the result on the campaign map. You know, we've not taken even any sort of light casualties here. You know, and we've destroyed quite a significant number of their forces. So good result. And now we've got another battle with the Cornish reinforcements. So those reinforcements in the battle that flanked us, that must have been the garrison in here. So now we've got this unit to contend with. We outnumber them 2 to 1, so I don't think we're going to fight this on the Field of Glory 2 map. Just be a little bit one-sided, I think. Let's just resolve that here. Okay, so we've defeated this Cornish force that's come in, killed 5 of their units. We have taken a bit of damage, but nothing that we can't recover from. So good result there as well. So turn 11 of the campaign, and we have taken Sabrina. I think what we'll do now, we'll just plough on straight through into Cassiterides and take out these weakened Cornish forces here. I think we should just plough through them, no problem. They have got a garrison power of 9, but we are still at 58 combat power. So we'll do that next turn and hopefully unify the southwest of England under our banner. Okay, so we've invaded into the southwest, and we've got this fight now that we're just going to resolve in empires. Okay, so not as easy a win as I'd thought. We've lost a couple of units in that, but we have won the battle. Turn 12, and the war for the southwest is over. We've taken these 2 regions. We will probably need to station a small garrison in each of them because they're almost entirely, 100% Celtic. So they're not our ethnicity. They're recently conquered, and so the loyalty in these provinces is well, this one's non-existent and an 8% revolt risk, and this one is very low as well. So we'll station a small garrison in each of these and move our main army back into Regnium, because even though this is our primary territory, we're still not entirely loyal here, again because of the ethnicity. But this will improve over time. So we will go back to Sussex, and we will start looking at developing all of these provinces and settling things down, and hopefully build up our forces again and look at what else we can do, or at the very least protect ourselves from our ambitious neighbours. Okay, turn 20. We've just been spending the last few turns building up these regions, trying not to run out of money, build up our army. Our money's actually quite low, but you know, we are making money. We just got to make sure that we don't buy any more troops for a while until this goes up a bit. So what we noticed was Mercian faction was at war with the Keren faction, and what we decided to do was try and improve our relationship with Mercia. So we insulted the Keren emissaries. We offered Mercia a gift, and we did a little bit of trading with them, and we've got a cooperation pact with them. We've got a relationship with 18. So we're just going to try and increase that a little bit further, so that we can you know, perhaps trade off our manpower with them for maybe some money. So what I'm thinking of doing now is declaring war on Keren. They have got a 36 combat power army with 15 power reserve. They're obviously fighting each other here, so I might as well pile in with my 61 strength army, perhaps bring these Lightfoot in as well, and once I declare war, I think my reputation, my relationship with Mercia should go up as well. So we'll look at doing that in the next video. We're just keeping an eye on these factions here. We do keep getting raided, which, you know, it impacts on our loyalty and our food and our infrastructure, commerce and culture. So basically it really hampers development. It really slows everything down when we get raided. So the way to stop that is by having a larger army in the region than those that are raiding. But at the moment everyone's raiding us. We don't always seem to have this option here to raid back, although I notice that at the moment we do, but this doesn't always seem to be here, and I'm not really sure why. So we could raid back in, but an unsuccessful raid will affect our combat power, which we don't want to do as we're just about to go to war. So we'll carry this on in the next video. We'll leave this one here for now as our kind of first introduction video. You know, we've expanded our territory, and so far so good. In the next videos we're going to try and move north, see if we can thin out our main rivals here as well. That would be good. Hopefully they won't ally, because they'll be quite a powerful force, I think, if they do. Right then, that's it for this video. If you like what you've seen, please leave a like. Feel free to comment, subscribe. I'm Josie Wales. War is hell. Thanks for watching.